you will watch on this podcast.
A very strong communist system, which is propaganda and so on and so forth, for the good of their citizens as they may.
We track our metrics to get even better.
Yes, this 1% better is the key.
It's not always about calories in or calories out or moving or not moving.
They want to do that, but they have this big, huge, fat problem, is that they hallucinate.
Because we as human beings need human interaction to be able to...
And this is why we need to use AI to help doctors, to help practitioners, to help people.
Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're not in our usual environment. Today, we're outside on holidays in Asia, and we're still filming our weekly podcast.
Well, holidays, we're having conferences, and then here we are in a family gathering in a beautiful country in Vietnam. By the way, don't you think Vietnam is a paradoxical country, Yassine?
It is, but I love it. For me, when I go really, let's say, far away from my country, it changes completely. So that's when I really feel on holidays and I feel completely disconnected from my country.
Yeah, well, that's the point. But at the end of the day, this country looks paradoxical because, as you know, Vietnam has a huge 100 years story of being colonized by the Chinese. And then it was also colonized by the French for 100 years. So it has a lot of cultures mixed into the very profound culture in Vietnam. And the political system, as most of you might know, of Vietnam is a social communist culture. I would say more communist than a socialist culture. So politically, they have a very strong communist system, which is propaganda and so on and so forth, for the good of their citizens as they may. But on the streets and on the real life, you see everybody able to do business, a type of Chinese kind of thing.
Today, we're going to dive again into our three major topics, which are
the evolutions of wellness, also the business related to wellness, which is how do we feel as a business people and as a business wellness people. And the third will be the relation between the evolution of AI and the society. So it's the wellness of the society that we talk about again.
And before we start, again, I'm Yassine Amor, a wellness content creator with over 2 million people on social media.
And I'm Karim Amor, a biotech entrepreneur and author for over 30 years.
Let's dive right into it. So the first article, it's all about wearables. And we all talk about wearables for the past 3, 4, 5 years. And this is a major topic. I'm actually wearing one and I'm wearing many and I'm testing a lot of wearables. And this one says, wearable sensors helps athletes achieve greater performance. We don't only use wearables to track our calories or whatsoever, but we as athletes or very enthusiast sports addict, we track our metrics to get even better. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think the article, as I wrote it when you sent it to me, is about badminton. Mm-hmm. And it's about how a wearable sensor helps athletes on badminton improve their game and be their utmost of their health. Because at the end of the day, I believe that it's not only about wearing a wearable, is what this wearable is telling you. I mean, this wearable is speaking to you.
I completely agree. I mean, you know, in the wearable industry, there's two sides of the story, like everything else. There's the side where like it's gonna improve your health, it's gonna improve the way you're gonna look at life, it's gonna improve your performance as well, and can improve a lot of things as long as you take it seriously in that field. But I know some people, for example myself, sometimes I'm super addicted to my metrics and I'm always being like, oh no, I didn't reach my goal, or I start like looking at it the bad way, which I don't have to, because actually those wearables are helping me getting better. But if you don't educate yourself well enough to know what can the wearable bring you, it can be a very bad, how do we say, like tourbillon, like
a loop.
Like a loop, exactly, an unending loop. And you're always looking at your metrics and you're pissed because you didn't reach your goals today. But the goal of this metrics is to get 1% better every day.
Yes, this 1% better is the key, what I think. Because at the end of the day, you can't get to anywhere if you don't measure. When you enter your car, you have measures in your car that tells you exactly what you do, where you go, how many electricity is still in your Tesla car or whatever car you're having, and it helps you improve. And at the end of the day, if it makes you feel bad, like you say, it's probably a good thing because it's a nudging. It's a kind of nudging for you to say, hey, Yassine,
it maybe
wake up.
pushes you. I agree. It maybe pushes you. I mean, I love it, to be honest. Like myself, I love it. I love being pushed. I love being like, all right, I didn't close my rings, or I didn't get my reward or whatsoever, because when you have a gamified experience, it's much better because you really want to reach that goal to get that little surprise that you're going to get at the end of the day or whatsoever. But let's look maybe 2 years back. I personally fell into this unending circle where I was like, if I don't reach my calorie target today, I'm gonna feel super bad at the end of the day, which made me feel bad at some point. But now I learned that it's not always about calories in or calories out or moving or not moving. It's about feeling good inside of yourself. It's about feeling good.
I'm so happy to hear
No,
that.
if you want to lose weight, it's all about calories in, calories out. Don't get me wrong, because we have a really big debate on calories in, calories out, if you want to lose weight or not. If you want to lose weight, it's all about calories in, calories out. If you consume more calories than you're going to burn, you're going to gain weight. There's no other situation. But there's calories and calories.
Now, we were getting very far from the subject. Let's get back to the subject.
Let's get back to the subject.
We don't have time to talk about calories in, calories out. We don't have arbitration about 2 more people that are going to be embarked next. About this badminton thing, I want to point out 2 things. First, badminton is a racket sport. And what is important about racket sport is that it's the most powerful for the brain sport you can ever find. Why is that? If you take badminton, you take tennis, you take ping pong, you take playing paddle. It's a sport that wires your brain like no other sport. It's a reflexology sport. It's a sport that moves you without you feeling you moving, because at the end of the day, your brain is working tenfold by what is working usually.
I agree, because you need to have some different reflexes. You need to, it's like the F1 players, for example. I don't know if you saw on social media, but when the F1 players try to train their reflexes, they put always like balls like this, and the trainer drops the ball from one hand or the other, and the F1 driver needs to catch it.
Never saw that game.
You never saw that game?
No.
It's going viral on social media because it really trains your reflex. It really trains your reaction, your quick reaction, because F1 drivers needs to have a very quick reaction because they go high speed. And I believe that in badminton or any other tennis game, racket game, plays the same role, because you need to focus on the ball, you need to focus on the racket, you need to focus on the movement, you need to focus on the field. So there's many things to train to be able to play good. And the study it's made on badminton, but I'm pretty sure the study can relate to tennis, to paddle, and any other racket sports.
Yeah, and bear in mind, guys, apart from what Yassine just said, there's another thing that we usually do every day while we drive our car. In my last book, Renaissance Now, that is coming out, the first chapter is about a lady that discovers she has a metabolic syndrome. And for the first time of her life, she takes an autonomous cab. And while she takes the autonomous cab, the first reflection she has in her mind is saying, usually I'm driving my car, so I'm taking care, I'm looking at all what the surroundings are supposed to bring back to my eyes, to my ears, to whatever senses I have. And now that I'm being driven by a car autonomously, I can do other tasks, other things, but it's not the same as I was driving my car myself. So my brain, as you looking at, seeing it in the book, says, my brain is literally shrinking. Why is that? What does it bring? Well, we can talk about it, but at the end of the day, I would say yes and no, because on one side, your brain, like racquetball, is a little bit less solicited, but at the end of the day, you can do something else that makes your brain enhance.
But why do you think it gets less solicited? If you need to focus on different things, it trains your mind.
It does, but you can do something else but train. Like when you look at the environment, your brain is fired because you take care of other things and you relate. When you look at one thing, it connects you to other things. So your brain works, but not in a reflex mode like you do in racquetball or while you're driving. It looks at it in a way that it says, okay, autonomous driving is good, It's a fantastic technology, and I admire those people that work on it. But at the end of the day, what does it do to the brain? I think it's like the telephone, it's like the mobile phone. We'll know in about 20 years, 30 years, and we might have other things like racquetball or like badminton replacing it.
Well, I really want you guys to let us know in the comments. First of all, if you're wearing any wearables, if you're using it to get your performance better, if you're using it to get a better health or whatsoever, let us know in the comments. I would love to know, because this is a huge topic nowadays. A lot of people are looking into different wearables. What should I wear? What should I do? It's not about the wearable itself. It's about the information that you get from the wearable and what's the response of it. How can you interpret this data?
Yeah, and you as entrepreneurs and as wellness coaches and as doctors, maybe you have your say about wearables and how wearables that your client might wear will help you, your client, your collaborator, or yourself, that brings you vitality or brings your customers vitality, might bring to you as continuous information.
Let me give you a quick hint about this. For example, you're training a client, and this client is telling you, the whole week I've been eating really good and I've been training every single day, but you have no way to control this apart from like checking to the app, being like, okay, I did this workout, I did this workout, I did this workout, but they can do actually this just by being in bed. But if you can control exactly how your client trained, what they eat, and what they did during the week, that's going to be a game changer, actually.
Certainly.
Well, let's dive into the second article.
Second article is more your part, Yassine. At least more your part than mine. Well, the second part is about platforms that you use to enhance your business. The first part of the article says choose platform where your audience is active. Second is said company fit, match channels and that has your brand traits. And third, competitive research, analyze competitors' platform and audience. So what do you think, Yassine?
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story that you know pretty well, actually, and that you lived with me every single day when this happened. You remember a year and a half ago when I got hacked on my platforms? I got hacked in one of the biggest platforms, and I went from a community of 400,000 people to zero from one day to another. I woke up, I had 0 people on my community, and I was like, what did I do wrong? What was the problem? And I started looking into it, and I saw that someone hacked my account and started posting some stuff, and that social media shut down everything. Facebook and Instagram was linked, so I had 0 resources to be able to get back my account. So I was completely out. But thanks God, I had different other platforms. So I was on TikTok, I was on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn as well. So I had different sources to provide information to people. So I didn't get, let's say, lost. I was like, okay, this happened. What can I do now? I continued on the other platforms, and I found a way to be able to recover my account. And thankfully, the people that helped me recover my account knew me, because I was quite known in Morocco already. And they were like, okay, if I didn't know you, I wouldn't be able to help you. That means that if you put all your eggs in one basket, so in one only platform, you're doing things wrong. You need to be on all different platforms, because first of all, it's safer. It's like when you start investing, they tell you like, don't invest all your money in one only income or whatsoever. You should like diversify your income. So for me, content is income. If I diversify my content in different platforms, I'm getting different outputs from different platforms. I have people following me from YouTube. I have other people following me from Instagram, from TikTok. So it's not only one community, it's different people.
Okay, but I would say something. I would say it depends on the type of business that you're undertaking, because...
don't agree, I can't.
Okay, let me finish, please. On one hand, Yassine is an influencer, is a generous influencer. He influences people on a good vibe, on a way of life, on the sports, and so on and so forth. So it's a very wide audience. Whereas, as a content manager for AP Group, which is a group that holds all the biotech ventures that we have, which is an LLM on biotech, which is a wearable on biotech, which is different topics that our group is handling on, and that you will see upcoming in the next probably 2-3 months. I would say the audience that he has on all the platforms, he needs it. Well, for the Epineon group, which I happen to manage, we mainly B2B. which means that we work with entrepreneurs, which are also wellness entrepreneurs, doctors, all the medical environment and health and wellness coaching environment, and entrepreneurs, because I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years, and I write about entrepreneurship, so on and so forth. So I need to talk to them. I cannot say that the same weight I will give to the social networks, and it's one of your advisors, the same weight I give to my social network in TikTok is the same weight that I give in LinkedIn. For me, LinkedIn is the kingdom of B2B. YouTube might be a part of B2B, but not as strong as LinkedIn, because you have most of the business people in LinkedIn, people that are handling their tasks every day, making their business grow, making themselves be as much vital as they can to handle their business and the business of their close collaborators. And believe me, as entrepreneurs, you might think about the closest guys you have around being in a super vital way, because with the coming of AI, and we'll speak in the third part of this podcast, coming of AI, you have to secure the vitality and wellness. And I believe that you don't thrive in TikTok like you thrive on LinkedIn when you're on B2B.
Can I ask you a question? Are you posting the same content everywhere?
It depends on you, because you're the content manager. But
are you posting your own content everywhere?
Always tell me, Karim, you have to contextualize, which I agree. The content I post on let's say, on LinkedIn is mostly real content. The content that we post on TikTok will be the same content, but recontextualized by the people that are working for it.
All right. Again, there's like his generation and there's my generation. I strongly believe again that you need to be on all social media. Regarding if you're targeting business, if you're targeting B2C or whatsoever, you need to be on all social media, because if you're not on social media, you don't exist. Social media today is vital for you if you want to do business. If you're a coach, if you're a doctor, if you're a esthetician, whatsoever, you need to be on social media to be able to exist. Now, that's what I'm actually noticing on social media is the more real you are, the better you're going to do business. And the realest platform to be in today, it's TikTok. For business to business, for business to consumer, for anything. Why? Because most of the people are on TikTok. Even businesses are on TikTok.
I have to say, I don't agree. When you are on business to business, you have to be on a platform that is very strict about the environment you're in. Whether you're talking to business people. I mean, in TikTok you will find everybody, including the business people.
Yeah.
But on LinkedIn, you might find only people that are involved whatsoever in an enterprise, in a business, whether they're entrepreneurs or whether they're collaborators or whatever. But it's business oriented and it has an identity. And this identity helps all the platforms speak to a type of people that they have. And I believe you have to speak louder, like for business to business, and in a platform like LinkedIn, like you might speak louder in a platform like Instagram or TikTok. And I don't even mix them, because Instagram for me is more like a branding platform, whereas TikTok is like when you want to talk to everybody in a most funnier way.
I agree. Different platforms, different content. But for example, if you're a business and you're just starting your business, or you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, or whatsoever, you better use one piece of content for all social media, and don't be like, oh, okay, no, this content is not for this social media. Just post. You're not losing anything to post on one social media or the other. Yes, there's different types of social media. LinkedIn is more businessy. TikTok is more fun. TikTok is more close friends, let's say. Instagram is more branding. You want something more aesthetic. For example, I don't care what I post on TikTok. I can post food, like I can post a normal story that I'm going to post on Instagram or whatsoever. But on Instagram, I curate more my content. And on YouTube, it's even another curation. But
I agree.
It's very important to be on all social media.
I agree, but it's not the same type of contextualization that you have on TikTok, and that you have on Instagram, and that you have on YouTube, and that you have on X.
That's for
like
sure.
For every morning, since 3 days, I decided to repost on X.
That's for sure.
If you want to go and watch what I'm posting every day, you can go on X. Every day I post a phrase that get into my mind for something I learned the day before, because for me, the mother of evolving in this ever AI involving society is curiosity. So every day I post something that pops into my mind, something I left the day before, and you can find it on X.
Well, go check out his X. I don't have X, but go check it out. And yeah, I mean, look, guys, don't get overwhelmed about content. There's a lot of people that gets overwhelmed. My dad actually got overwhelmed at the beginning before launching your own social media. You were like, okay, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to do. I don't know what this, what that. But it's just about doing the first step into launching your first video, and then second, and then third. And don't get bothered about like creating a specific content for a specific platform. Just start by posting on all social media the same type of content, and then later when you're going to build a team, because content is all about building a team as well, you can't do everything by yourself. It's a full-time job. You're going to be able to repurpose one content to other platforms as well.
Agreed. In the beginning, I was about books and books and books and books, because I was a writer and I was a book reader. And when Yassine got involved into social media, he teach me a lesson. He teach me the lesson that the future is about being human to human in social media. And that's how I got to learn how to work with social media through him, because he's the content manager of 𝐒𝐂𝐈𝐀. And then at the end of the day, what we do is that we just release our vibration to the people, and the people take their vibration the way they want to take it, and they make this vibration themselves. So guys, give us your comment about this platform and social media thing, because at the end of the day, Yassine is showing me by having this crusade on social media that is working, because a lot of my friends, whether they are very high ranked in the government, whether they are just friends that I meet on a daily basis, or whatever people, they said, well, Yassine, before I go to my office, I have to look at Yassine's content, because it pushes me into the vitality, it makes me smile, and I love it. So I believe this human relation that you have in a social network is key for the future.
Well, let's dive right into our third and last article, which relates to AI, which is a big topic in this podcast. So basically the article says, MIT researchers propose evaluating large language model LLMs based on how humans from beliefs about their capabilities termed the human generalization function. What do you think about this?
Yeah, well, you know what? I just released a book called Renaissance Now. And Renaissance Now is about the relation between AI and the future of the society. So we have to relate, all of us have to relate about what is this ever daily evolving AI going to bring us. And it started when? It started 2 years ago when ChatGPT was put it into people's mind, because they were not aware of it. Whereas at 𝐒𝐂𝐈𝐀, we were working with ChatGPT, like GPT-3, for over 2.5 years already. So we knew about it, because it's our business to go into this kind of deep tech to make our tech evolve. And I believe that the LLMs were the first door for people to realize not only the powerness of AI, but also its magic. And in my book, there is one, and at the end of the book, I write about the thoughts I have during the writing of my book. And one of the thoughts is that I believe that the AI technology today, particularly with LLMs, is a schizophrenic technology. Why is that? It is because at the end of the day, when you open your ChatGPT and you chat with it and you go and get the information you need, and then you see the magic of it, at the same time, people are losing their job. So I say that AI is a schizophrenic technology, because while you're getting extraordinarily impressed by what you get out of ChatGPT, the HR manager is writing you a letter telling you that you're fired.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it comes back to the video that we saw last podcast together, when the interviewer asked Elon Musk, like, what do you think about AI and the job replacements? AI, it's a huge advantage if you want to take it as an advantage to be able to get better. The human-to-human relations is never going to change. For example, when I'm working, I'm an entrepreneur, solopreneur when I create videos, and I work alone, and I have to discuss ideas. I discuss ideas with AI. I discuss ideas with ChatGPT sometimes. I brainstorm. I give him as much information as I can so that AI help me create more content. But sometimes you need a human interaction. So sometimes I just gather with content creators to get even more ideas, to get inspired, to get creative. Because I believe that AI is still not creative enough to replace many jobs. But let me give you a simple example. Again, a lot of different machines replaced human labor. A lot of them during the years. But we found ways to get other new jobs.
Yeah, but let me tell you something, Yassine. First of all, I want to come back to LLMs first, because at the end of the day, what MIT discovered is that LLM needs human feedback, which is a good thing at the end of the day, because if you consider LLM as they are today, they are an enhancing tool, which means it doesn't wipe out your creativity. It makes you more creative, having other avenues that you can think of. But, and there's a big but, you have to be aware, because today I was writing about human feedback. That is important at the end of the day to know what's going on for your customers or whatever. But LLM have a problem still. And part of our company's engineers are deeply working on it because, as you know, we are in the diagnostics business about health and so on and so forth. So we need very precise information. And most of the LLM in the market, it's not because they want to do that, but they have this big, huge, fat problem is that they hallucinate. And hallucination in LLM is okay when you're creative, because hallucination is part of your life and is part of your creativity. Maybe it'll give you an idea. I was giving a conference about 15 days ago in front of 500 doctors, and I spoke about the hallucination tackling that our company is undertaking right now, and I hope very soon you'll have good news about it. But at the end of the day, I told, okay, hallucination is bad for diagnostic, but hallucinations can be good for creativity. So we have to be aware when we lose LLM, what for we use it to. And if we don't come to tackle the information as it should be tackled with LLMs regarding like diagnostics or regarding like auto industry or those industries that are very sensitive, law is a very important topic that doesn't accept hallucination. You have to be very, very square on what you're doing and very much aware on what the LLM brings you.
So let me dive again into an example which is in our industry, on the fitness industry. There's a lot of different apps on the App Store or whatsoever that you can subscribe to as much as like $5 a month. But very few people do it, and very few people stay committed to those apps. Why? Because we as human beings need human interaction to be able to get into our objective and our goals every single day. We need that gratification from human as well. So personally, with my fitness app, I like to interact with my clients. I like to interact with people, and they like me to interact with them. I had recently a guy sending me an email saying, hey, like my yearly membership is getting to an end. How can I subscribe again to your app? And my app is more expensive than only like AI generated apps. Why does this guy wants to subscribe again? Because he has this human relation with me directly, and I'm giving him feedback from myself. So people are getting aware about those AI and about those different generative app or whatsoever you can call them, but we still need human interaction, and we still need this human connection as humans as well.
Well, Yassine is one of the best, I would say, sales guy of the company at the end of the day, because what you just said, he disclosed what we're working on is having a near conscious AI that will help you interact with yourself and also with your practitioner, doctor, health coach, etc. on a daily basis. And your health coaches, you as a health coach, you will be able through this kind of technology that we're going to release in several months, because it takes a lot of time to make square. Apart from the LLM that we're releasing soon, is going to allow you to be into constant interactions with your customers or your collaborators if you're a chief of staff or a CEO of a company, because you need to know what's going on in their vitality level. And this is good for you, because if it goes down, then you will get to know it, and you will not get to interact with people like Yassine, who is also a health coach, and get to humanize the relation between you and him, and not let him only be in front of his phone, thinking that you think. If you had customers that Yassine's have, you will interact with your coach every day, and Yassine answers to most of his clients. When you get to grow, and that's what we want you to be as a doctor, as a practitioner, as a health coach, we want you to grow at the end of the day, so you'll have a lot of clients. Then you have to mechanize your relation with them, staying very human in the loop.
It's all about getting more information, getting more feedback to your clients as well, without even using more time for yourself. It's just that there's better ways to interpret the information with different tools, and getting back to the client with a precise feedback and a better understanding of how they can get better.
Yeah, something I want to point out is that when you speak about that, comparing human interaction and human, I would say, wearable data interaction, is you put a wearable in the loop, then you have data coming up, which you don't have when you interact, except looking at the people and getting to know what they feel. But at the end of the day, the sum of data that you reach out of continuous tracking, like the thing we're going to do in the future, is beats definitely the brain. And this is why we need to use AI to help doctors, to help practitioners, to have people get to know exactly in a very thin and precise way how their body works. And I think this is a conversation you'll have with your body on a daily basis that no human can beat, because at the end of the day, it's about tech knowing what's going on, tech bringing you data, and tech mostly making this data talk to each other to express exactly what you might have and what you could anticipate.
Those are the three main topics that we talked about. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, enjoyed this view as well, because we're in an amazing scenery right now. It's time for me to go to the pool and refresh myself, because it's actually very, very hot. Stay tuned for the next podcast, which will come next week.
Yes, guy, I'm going to take a walk as far as I'm concerned, and I wish you a fantastic week, and see you next week with our future guest.